Good evening, my fellow exorcists, and welcome to the lair of Filmaroo. Tonight, I will be reviewing The Summer of Jordi, Perez, and the Best Burger in Los Angeles by Amy Spalding. 17, fashion-obsessed, and gay. Abby Ives has always been content playing the sidekick in other people's lives, while her friends and sister have plunged headfirst into the world of dating and romances. Abby's been happy to focus on her plus-size style blog and her dreams of taking the fashion industry by storm. When she lands a great internship at her favorite boutique, she's thrilled to take the first step towards her dream career. Then she falls for her fellow intern, Jordi Perez. Hard. And now she's competing against the girl she's kissing to win the coveted paid job at the end of the internship. But really, nothing this summer is going as planned. She also unwittingly becomes friends with Jax, a lacrosse-playing bro type who wants her help finding the best burger in Los Angeles. And she's struggling to prove her mother, the city's celebrity health nut, that she's perfectly content with who she is. Just as Abby starts to feel like she's no longer the sidekick in her own life, Jordi's photography surprisingly puts her into the spotlight. Instead of feeling like she's landing a starring role, Abby feels betrayed. Can Abby find a way to reconcile her positive yet private sense of self with the image others have of her? Now, let me just say this book was completely different from what I had expected. I knew I was getting into another woman love woman story. I knew there had to be a whole big thing about burgers, and I knew the story was going to follow Abby and her journey through romance. But what I didn't see coming was the lack of talking about the internship. Like, yeah, it's a big part of it, it's a big part of the story, and it does help us meet Jordi, and it's mostly talked about in this, but also Jordi and Abby are 17-year-old girls, and let's be honest, in this book, you barely hear anything about school, or we don't really know about her school life. We just know she has friends who we meet throughout the book. We know Jax plays lacrosse for the school. Abby's friend Morgan's boyfriend, I think his name is Trent, also plays lacrosse with Jax, and I'm gonna be honest, at the beginning I kind of was thinking that we'd leave off from school, like everyone's getting out of school for summer, and this book surprised me because we start off learning who Abby is. We learn about her friendship with Morgan and Brooke and the rest of her group, and it then leads into us her going to the internship, meeting Jordi, and meeting the head of Lemonberry Studios. Pretty much this focuses mostly on Abby's self-worth, her opinion on herself and how she looks in pictures, which, trust me, a lot of us go through that. I go through it every day because I hate the look of my face, and I hate myself, and I hate just the look of myself in pictures, and I constantly have to deal with my family complaining about my weight and how I look and how I don't look the way that they'd hoped. And this is very similar to how Abby's mother, Nora, treats her sometimes. Like, Nora is, as the summary said, the health celebrity of the of Los Angeles, where Abby lives, and I think Jenny Craig is an actual celebrity. I don't want to say she's like Oprah Winfrey or Michelle Obama, but she is a health nut. Like, every breakfast that they have has to be healthy. They have very healthy brunches. We hear Abby complaining about her lunches that her mother makes, how they're too healthy compared to what Jordi brings her in the book. Yeah, I feel bad for Abby in this. I mean, her and her mother do reconcile later on. They do become friends. We meet Abby's sister, Rachel, finally near the end of the book, because this book pretty much takes place in present day for the most part. And Rachel is off on her internship until near the end of the book. We also have Abby's father, who is very supportive of her, is a junk food hoarder and is one of the coolest dads in this book next to Jordi's father. He is very supportive of his daughter's lifestyle, and he's the one that's giving her advice when it comes to Lemonberry, and he was the one that encouraged her the most when it came to the internship. We also have the owner of Lemonberry, Maggie, that's her name. Maggie is also very supportive. She is honestly one of the best characters and one of the best supporting characters in the story. She teaches Abby how to sew. She's encouraging Jordi to continue photography, and she gives her a shot in the at the store taking pictures, and she also creates a really good boss intern relationship with Jordi and Abby, and she's just like that cool boss that everybody wishes they had. While most bosses wouldn't be too happy about Jordi and Abby's relationship, Maggie is very supportive of it. Like, she's rooting for them and she wants them to be happy, and she doesn't want the internship to be this big competition. And actually, she comes up with a really good idea near the end of the book for the two to both get the internship, which I'm not going to spoil that part about it too much. Just going to say that Maggie is one of the best bosses in the world. I also got to say it's really good to see a plus-sized LGBTQ character in books these days. Like, this is a rarity because most of the time you have all these thin cisgender straight characters out there who are mostly focused on romance and making the world a better place for them and not other people, and it's just refreshing to see a different body type in this story. Like, I find myself rooting more for Abby than any of her friends who are straight, because honestly I feel they represent the main characters that we've had throughout the years, where Abby is very much different. Trust me, Lemonberry in this is a godsend because there aren't that many plus-size companies out there. I mean, there is Torrid, there is sometimes online for Hot Topic. I'm pretty sure there's other ones, but it's not as prominent on the internet, and it is very hard for plus-size people to find clothes out there, especially if you're a girl, where every store has this regulation that you must be thin and you must be a certain gender or a certain body type. And here, this story throws away those gender norms and body norms and tries to bring to light that plus-sized people are humans too. Like, they deserve just as much respect, and they deserve their own clothing and their own stories, and it's just, I love that this book is at least trying. Now, I will say, again, I am a bit disappointed because the story was going so well until we get to the breakup between Abby and Jordi, where Abby gets mad because of the pictures that Jordi uses are of her for her studio show, and it turns into a whole big breakup of Abby not wanting to listen to Jordi, not trying to reconcile with her until literally her friends force her to reconcile with her because they can see how down she is and how much of an impact Jordi had on her life. I'm gonna keep on saying this, but this is a tired old trope. Like, I kind of want to see, I would have liked to see them try and reconcile a little bit earlier. I mean, we could have had a whole big chapter of them talking and Abby realizing her mistake, realizing that she needs to give Jordi another chance, and they kind of save that for the very end. We barely get a chapter to listen to Jordi and Abby reconcile. Like, this should have been a bigger part of the book instead of just being relegated to the end right before the epilogue. Don't get me wrong, I love the romance that we get so far. Like, I do really like how shy Abby is towards the relationship because she's always thought that nobody would ever love her, that no girls would ever be into her, and she is dealing with the main struggle that most of us bisexual, gay, and lesbian and pansexual people have to deal with, where the dating pool for us is a lot smaller than if you're straight. And for people like me who are loners and are horrible at being extroverts and communicating, the dating pool is pretty freaking small, or the chances of finding someone are pretty freaking small. And they do show this in this, but also I'm really getting tired of the misunderstanding trope. While it somewhat works for this, I wish we could have focused more on the romance between Abby and Jordi instead of having to deal with the breakup, because I do really love their relationship and how they're each other's first and how they're very trusting of each other. Jordi is good for her, and she's helping her overcome her self-esteem issues. I'm gonna be honest, rating this book is not that easy, because while it does do a lot of what I was hoping, the breakup taking up a big chunk of the third act, and Abby taking out her anger on her friends like Jax and her mother and all the people that are trying to help her, I gotta say I'm not a big fan of the third act, and that's because of the breakup. So I guess I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10, because again, I love a huge chunk of this book. Like, I love most of the book. It's just the breakup felt unneeded. Also, I love the relationship between Abby and Jax, how he sees her as his wingman or wing girl, and he finds her really cool, and that's why they go on this whole best burger in Los Angeles journey. And it's just, I love the interaction between Jax and Abby and Jordi, and this was a really fun book to listen to. Like, I'm glad that this was recommended, and I can't wait to see what I read next. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little notification bell for more of our content, and have a great night, guys.